Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing this video today. Elizabeth wanted to see it. Hi Elizabeth. And it is called Embrace Today. It's a fabric journal. And it is a 6.5 by 4.25. And it's got a real pretty vintage fabric on the front. This I think was part of a table cup runner, possibly. Some of them, yeah, I do wash them, but some of them have little stains that don't come out, and I just use them because it shows their age, you know, and it was well loved at one point. This is actually, I had some little scraps left over. I redid my kitchen curtains, and I had little scraps left over, so I just used that. And then one of my patches that I like to make. And there's the spine and the back. And it's got a seam binding closure. Let's go inside. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. It's got a muslin. I think I used a piece of muslin here. No, look, that is part of a napkin that I used. And then I put a piece of a curtain over it, and it's got some little blue fabrics here with a little card that's napkin decoupage and stitched. Real pretty lady. And I used little tags for tabs in here. Real pretty lady. Some ephemera. And over here is a lace pocket. And it's got some little minis in it. Apple slicing and coring attachment. Man, they had those back then. Look at that. 43 cents. Go splurge and get you one. A little music background for the pocket here. And it's a pocket behind it also. And that's napkin decoupaged. And that's a piece of fabric ticket. Some seam binding and some of that real pretty book that I love. Now I did trim the edges of the book pages in here that I used, but I let the fabrics hang over. Here's another ruffle with a bunch of strings and a pretty rose. Little butterfly tuck spot. 2 cards to journal on. Real pretty rose with a little butterfly there. Come on up, Cooper. Come on. Can you not get up? Sorry, guys. Dog wants up in Mama's chair. And I used a piece of muslin here that I just stitched down, and I attached a vintage button with a safety pin. But this is attached to this page. This acts as a hinge. And then you have another card for journaling in the back space here with the little tag. And I put a piece of ruffle behind here, so you have also the ruffle edge peeping on the other side. And here's another ruffle sewn in gold, little doodad image actually stamped on fabric. I love this fabric, absolutely love it. It is the dickens to sew, but it is so pretty. And a corrugated heart, another book page side. And this is this a pocket? It is a pocket. And I forgot to put something in it. Well, that's 2. Did that in the last book. You know, I go through these like 3 or 4 times looking for places to put things, but not even I can remember where I put all my tuck spots. That's really sad. And I just finished the book. But this is one of the patches that I make, and I stamped on it and stitched around it. Some of that textured thread on the side here. Another pretty vintage lady. Pretty image up there. And there's another button with the antique safety pin. And that's muslin that I stitched on. Over here is one of these little metal tickets. I think in one of those little Office Depot tag thingies. Boy, everything's a thingy today, isn't it? Coffee dyed paper. piece of ephemera for the background there. And one of these papers I like to make. And then, of course, I put the tag for the tab. I'm going to put you in like this. Piece of lace here with a fabric ticket. Pretty flower. And a rose with part of that book page. And some seam binding, coffee dyed seam binding. Little mini places to journal. Some of that textured blue stitching. Another tab. Pretty lady. This is a ruffle here with a corrugated butterfly and a little paper flower. A pocket here made out of a book page. And I put one of my notebooks in there for journaling. And you can also use this space back here. I just love this. It's such a cute size. Little tuck spot here. A piece of brown lace there. Little image up there. Another safety pin. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful frame. Over here's a little tiny tuck spot with a little business card. Some little coffee dyed papers. Seam binding with some lace and some cheesecloth here with a rose and some ephemera in the background. More stitching. I just love this. You can feel it. It's just really nice. It's raised. Love it. A fabric ticket here with the book page. And on this side is a ruffle with a little pocket. You could put something behind here if you wanted. With 2 tickets. Not tickets. I don't know what you'd call these. Little cards. Let's call them little cards. And a vintage lady and a vintage gentleman. Oh, look at that hat. Can y'all see that? That's hysterical. Just hysterical. His hat's taller than his head. Over here's a pretty rose, butterfly with a little flower and some stitching. And it is a card. I can get it out. And then the tag. A pretty image here. Isn't that pretty? Got a little tag with a vintage button here. Could put something special on the back there if you wanted. You can hit here anything into these books you want. Here's another patch with a stamped flower in that fabric that I just love. But it is the dickens to sew. Some stitched paper and coffee dyed paper here with some blue edging. And I left this open here on purpose so it would be a little bit looser, and you can get, when you do that, you can get a lot more in. It's a tuck spot here with a piece that was, it's got Canadian postage and part of an envelope that it was stuck to, and that's part of a guest ticket, and it's seam binding. Little card, another little card that I made. That's Latin. I like that in front because you can see the words through the flower. Place for journaling back here. This was the old tablecloth that I used for the cover. I got another little piece of fabric. I like layering my fabrics and keeping them uneven so you can see all the different ones that are used. And that's the front. And I want to thank y'all for being here with me today. And thank you, Elizabeth. And I will see y'all on the next video. Bye-bye.